two social media posts from President Trump came out a few hours ago and are rattling the markets before the opening bell. Trump now threatening 25% tariffs on Apple for manufacturing its iPhones overseas. He's also recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1st. That's a week from Sunday, after complaining the trade negotiations with the EU have stalled. The reaction from Wall Street has been swift and negative, with Dow futures tumbling nearly 500 points, while the S&P and NASDAQ are seeing significant losses as well.
Well, let's break apart a couple things on the Apple story here. First of all, at least my understanding, and I think it's everybody's understanding, you can't just tariff one company directly. You can't just put a tariff, a 25% tariff, as the president has described, on Apple specifically. You put tariffs on countries. That's how this works. So invariably, if you start to try to sort of unwind what this really means, there's the possibility that anything coming from, frankly, India or China would have to have a minimum of a 25% tariff on it, because that would be the only way that you could tariff Apple at these levels. It also means that it would have an impact on every other product coming out of India or China. And right now, there had been an expectation that there would be a lot lower tariffs, at least coming out of a place like India. So we can think about that. There's the other component part of this, which is that the president has been quite vociferous about condemning the EU, other countries, about their regulations and critiques of American companies. For a very long time, they have said the EU and China and other countries have done a disservice to American businesses by trying to regulate them, by trying to criticize them. So it's very interesting to see here the president of the United States criticizing one of the most iconic American companies in the world, of course, having just met, by the way, with Tim Cook in the Oval Office earlier this week.
Both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America, and also more freedom of people to move between Europe and North America if they wish. If they wish to work in Europe or wish to work in America, they should be allowed to do so, in my view.
I have Elon is from South Africa. I don't want to get Elon involved. That's all I have to do, get him into another thing. But Elon happens to be from South Africa. This is what Elon wanted. He actually came here on a different subject, sending rockets to Mars, okay? Yes. He likes that better. He likes that subject better. That's right. But Elon is from South Africa, and I don't want to talk to him about that. I don't think it's fair to him. That's right. But I will say that people are fleeing South Africa for their own safety. Their land is being confiscated, and in many cases, they're being killed. And that scene of, you see how many crosses they have. Those crosses, that's a dead person in every one of them.
My American people, this is extremely troubling. This is extremely important that you listen. Elon Musk and his rich, wealthy South African buddies have Donald Trump in their pockets, and they're planning to bring apartheid to America. Watch their moves. They are positioning themselves to bring apartheid to America. America, America, I am going on record saying this to you. We already made some foolish decisions. America, America, watch Elon. America, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you, America. Watch Elon Musk. He is positioning himself to bring apartheid to our shores. And he's working on Donald because he knows Donald loves money. And he has a lot, and he's throwing it at him. And now he is positioning himself to bring apartheid to America. Think about it. Watch his moves. Watch his moves. Watch what he's doing. America, America, I'm going on record telling you all. I warned you all before, and you did not listen. And look at the state that we're in now. America, America, I am warning you.
And what about the international dimension? Now, let's think about Starlink. Starlink is obviously a very, very good internet service. It's sought after all over the world. It's critical to the front line in Ukraine. It has also had more contracts coming its way, and there is some evidence that companies are allowing access to it because they want to be close to the Trump administration and send the right signal. So Bloomberg broke news today that the South African government is working around the rules on black ownership in order to allow Starlink in, and that is being done on the eve of the visit that President Ramaphosa is going to make to the White House. Do you recognize that as a conflict of interest?
No, of course not. First of all, you should be questioning why are there racist laws in South Africa? That's the first problem. That's what you should be attacking. It's improper for there to be racist laws in South Africa. The whole idea with what Nelson Mandela, who was a great man, proposed was that all races should be on an equal footing in South Africa. That's the right thing to do, not to replace one set of racist laws with another set of racist laws, which is utterly wrong and improper. So that's the deal, that all races should be treated equally, and there should be no preference given to one or the other. Whereas there are now 140 laws in South Africa that give that basically give strong preference to if you're a black South African, and not otherwise. And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in Starlink because I'm not black.
Well, it looks like that's about to change.
I just asked you a question. Please answer. Does that seem right to you?
Well, those rules were designed to bring
yes or no?
those rules were designed to bring about an era of more economic equality in South Africa, and it looks like the government has found a way around those rules for you.
I asked you a question.
This is your interview. Everyone wants to hear from you.
I asked you a question. Yes or no?
Not for me.
Laws, yes or no?
Not for me to answer. I have got a question for you about your government work though and the amount of savings.
Why do you like racist laws?
This is not for me to answer. Come on.
Yes, it is.
Now, you wouldn't be trying to dodge a question.
You have to ask a question. I answer my question. No, you answer mine.
I think if you... I'm sure you can have that conversation directly with the South African government if you want to.
When the president was asked whether his symbolic purchase of a Tesla at the White House might help the company's stock, Trump said, "I hope it does." But that wasn't all, because the best part of the deal for Donald Trump took place after the Teslas had been driven away and the cameras had been packed up. Because not long after the special live stream on X or Twitter had ended, something even more important happened. With Tesla shares on the rebound, Elon Musk promised to pump $100 million into Donald Trump's political operation. That's right, Donald Trump received one of the largest political contributions in American history, all for the price of one measly Tesla Model S and the use of the White House as a sales room.
In our opinion, we've created a $160 billion delta, FY25 to FY26, very significant. That's 16% of the way towards $1 trillion in 5 months. In order to make progress, we need the consent, obviously, of the not just the executive branch, but also the legislative branch and the judicial branch. My prediction is that probably by the end of next year, we'll have probably hundreds of thousands, if not
hundreds of thousands,
if not over 1 million Teslas doing self-driving in the U.S. We'll have a model which is kind of like some combination of Uber and Airbnb. So if you're a Tesla owner,
right,
you'll be able to add or subtract your car to the fleet. So it's a way for Tesla owners to earn revenue. You know, we're in the big bang of the intelligence explosion. Like we have courtside seats to the big bang of intelligence explosion. So if
you don't seem to be saying there's a 20% chance of annihilation as often anymore.
I think we should always consider that there's some chance of a bad outcome to try to protect against the bad outcome. But really the best indicator of the forward value of the company is the share price, the market cap, and that's very strong right now.
Does that mean you are pushing ahead with the lawsuit against OpenAI?
Yes. So, look, I came up with the name OpenAI as an open source and as a nonprofit. And I funded OpenAI for the first roughly $50 million. It was intended to be a nonprofit open source company. And now they're trying to change that for their own financial benefit into a for-profit company that is closed source. So this would be like, let's say you funded a nonprofit to help preserve the Amazon rainforest. But instead of doing that, they became a lumber company, chopped down the forest, and sold the wood. You'd be like, wait a second, that's not what I funded. That's OpenAI.
They've made some changes to their corporate structure, though, haven't they, since, in recognition of what you've said? And
no, that's just what they told the media.
okay. They have partly walked back their plan to restructure the business. I guess that's made no difference to how you feel about it.